Have you been feeling a bit foggy lately? Do you struggle to concentrate during the day, or feel like your memory isn't what it used to be? The answer might literally be on your plate. Many foods we eat every day, foods we consider normal or even harmless, could be secretly sabotaging our brain, our energy, and our mood. Hi, before we get started, I want to know, what city or country are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. I love to see how far our health message is reaching. Now let's get to it. If you're tired of feeling mentally drained, dealing with spikes of anxiety, or feeling like your brain is running with the emergency brake on, pay close attention. The connection between what we eat and how we feel is one of the most powerful and, unfortunately, most ignored aspects of our health. In this video, I'm not just going to give you a list of things to avoid. We are going to unmask the 5 worst foods for your mind, one by one. I'll explain why they're so bad, what they do to your body, and how they hide in your daily routine. But most importantly, we're not just focusing on the problem. For every villain, I'm going to introduce a hero. I'll give you a practical shopping list with smart, delicious, and powerful swaps that will boost your focus, mental clarity, and well-being starting today. And believe me, the change is much simpler than you think. Oh, and a heads up, the 5th food on the list will surprise you. It's something millions of people use every day, thinking they're doing their health a huge favor. Stick with me until the end to find out what it is. If you're ready to take control of your mental health through the power of nutrition, this video was made for you. The secret connection between your plate and your mind. Before we point fingers, you need to understand something fundamental. Why does food have such a massive impact on our minds and moods? It's simple. Your brain isn't a separate piece of hardware inside your head. It's an organ that consumes a tremendous amount of energy and is directly affected by the quality of the fuel you give it. Think of your brain as a supercomputer. To run smoothly, it needs a constant flow of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and good fats. When your diet is poor and full of inflammatory junk, it's like trying to run that supercomputer with a virus-filled program and a faulty power supply. The result: sluggishness, bugs, that brain fog, overheating, inflammation, and crashes, bad moods and fatigue. Science shows this connection happens through 3 main pathways. Chronic inflammation. Many modern foods, especially ultra-processed ones, create silent inflammation throughout the entire body. This inflammation doesn't just stay in your joints or stomach, it reaches the brain. An inflamed brain is a brain that doesn't work correctly, which is linked to conditions like depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. The gut-brain axis. Have you ever heard that the gut is our second brain? That's no exaggeration. Your gut contains trillions of bacteria, the gut microbiota, that do much more than just digest food. Most of the body's serotonin, for example, is produced there. And here's an important detail. This gut-produced serotonin doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier to directly regulate mood. However, it's crucial for communication along this gut-brain axis, influencing our overall well-being. A poor diet feeds the bad bacteria, causing an imbalance and disrupting this communication, impacting how you feel. Oxidative stress. Your brain uses about 20% of all the oxygen you breathe, which makes it highly vulnerable to oxidative stress, a type of cellular rust. A diet rich in antioxidants, like those from fruits and vegetables, fights this. On the other hand, a diet full of sugar and bad fats accelerates this rusting, damaging neurons and aging the brain faster. Understanding these 3 points, inflammation, the gut-brain axis, and oxidative stress, is the key to realizing that food isn't just about weight. It's the foundation of your mental health. Now let's meet the villains, the 5 worst foods for your mind. Let's start our investigation. Get ready, because some of these items might be staples in your daily life. The goal isn't to blame, but to build awareness. Worst food, number 1, sugary drinks and refined sugar. Here, we're talking about sodas, juice boxes, yes, even the ones that say 100% fruit, bottled iced teas, energy drinks, and any beverage with added sugar. This list also includes white sugar, candy, cakes, and bakery desserts. Why are they so bad? When you drink something sugary, a flood of sugar rushes into your bloodstream all at once. Your body panics and releases a ton of insulin to handle the situation. This glucose and insulin roller coaster is a huge stressor for the brain. First, this instability causes brain fog, irritability, and fatigue. You get that initial energy spike and then a crash that leaves you feeling worse than before. Second, frequent sugar consumption is one of the biggest drivers of inflammation and oxidative stress. Furthermore, studies show that a high-sugar diet decreases a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your neurons. It helps neurons survive and form new connections. Low levels of BDNF are linked to depression and Alzheimer's disease. In other words, every sip of soda could be hindering your brain's ability to repair itself and create memories. Worst food number 2, industrial trans fats. This is perhaps one of the biggest villains in modern food. It's the infamous hydrogenated vegetable oil, an artificial fat created by the industry to make products last longer and have a better texture. Where does it hide? Margarine, filled cookies, packaged chips, microwave popcorn, ready-made cake mixes, mass-produced ice cream, frozen meals like lasagna and pizza, and most fast food fried items. The tip is simple. Read the label. If it says hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, put it back on the shelf. Why are they so bad? Our bodies weren't designed to process this fat. When we eat it, the body tries to incorporate it into cell membranes, including those of our neurons. A neuron's membrane needs to be flexible for communication to happen quickly. Trans fat is rigid. It stiffens this membrane and disrupts everything. The result is a decline in memory and learning. But the damage doesn't stop there. Trans fats are extremely inflammatory, and studies have linked them to a much higher risk of depression and cognitive problems. Think of it as plastic that has infiltrated the wiring of your supercomputer, causing short circuits. Worst food, 3, refined carbohydrates and white flour. The list here is long. White bread, common pasta, white rice, sugary breakfast cereals, cakes and pastries made with refined wheat flour. What's the problem? The problem isn't the carbohydrate itself, but the refining process. During this process, the grain is stripped of its husk, rich in fiber, and germ, rich in nutrients. What's left is basically pure starch. Why are they so bad? To your body, eating a slice of white bread isn't much different from eating pure sugar. It turns into glucose in the blood very quickly, causing the same energy spikes and crashes as sugary drinks. This wreaks havoc on your concentration and mood. The lack of fiber is another serious issue. Fiber is the main course for the good bacteria in your gut. A diet of white flour starves your good microbiota, which allows bad bacteria to take over. As we've seen, this disrupts the communication of your second brain and can negatively affect your well-being. Worst food number 4, cured and processed meats. Sausages, hot dogs, ham, bologna, salami, bacon, and even sliced turkey breast, which many people think is healthy. Why are they so bad? The problem is the processing. To last for months, they receive a chemical bath, preservatives like nitrites and nitrates, flavor enhancers, and tons of sodium. These additives, especially nitrites, can form compounds in the body that cause oxidative stress and inflammation. And inflammation, as we know, is enemy number 1 for a healthy brain. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same group as tobacco. If they are so bad for the body, imagine what they do to our most sensitive organ. Worst food number 5, artificial sweeteners. And here is the item I promised would be a surprise. Aspartame, sucralose, saccharin. They're in everything: diet, light, or zero sugar, sodas, yogurts, gelatins, and tabletop sweeteners. Millions of people use these every day, thinking they are being smart and avoiding sugar. Why are they so devastating? The promise of sweetness without calories can come at a hidden cost to your mind. While they don't contain sugar, these chemicals interact with our bodies in complex ways. The biggest concern for scientists today is their impact on the gut microbiota. Studies show that artificial sweeteners can alter the balance of bacteria in your gut, which in turn can mess with your metabolism. By disturbing the ecosystem of your second brain, they can interfere with communication to the brain upstairs, which poses a risk to your mental well-being. Additionally, they trick the brain. You taste sweetness, and your brain expects energy. When that energy never arrives, the brain's reward system can become confused. Some studies suggest that, in the long run, this may even increase cravings for real sweets. For more sensitive individuals, sweeteners like aspartame have been linked in some studies to headaches, anxiety, and even depressive episodes. Okay, take a deep breath. I know this list can be scary, especially if you eat several of these foods. To recap, we've unmasked sugary drinks, trans fats, white flour, processed meats, and artificial sweeteners. But I didn't bring you this far to leave you hanging. On the contrary, knowledge is power. Now that you know the villains, the good news is that for each of them, there's a hero waiting to help. Let's move on to the best part: overhauling your shopping list and creating a menu that will nourish, protect, and strengthen your mind. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, which of these 5 foods were you most shocked to see on the list? And which one will you try to eliminate first? Your journey starts with this decision, and if you're enjoying the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because the solution part is even more important. The solution: the high-performance brain shopping list. Now for the part about hope and action, let's transform your kitchen. For every villain, we'll introduce a champion alternative. Alternative number 1. Instead of sugary drinks, drink infused water and teas. The first swap is the simplest. Drink more water. The slightest bit of dehydration is enough to cause brain fog and fatigue. Your brain is 75% water. Keeping it hydrated is step number 1. Why is this the best solution? If you find plain water boring, give it an upgrade. Make your own infused waters. It's easy. In a pitcher of water, add slices of lemon, orange, cucumber, mint leaves, or a piece of ginger. It's delicious, refreshing, and full of antioxidants. Herbal teas, unsweetened of course, are another fantastic option. Chamomile and lemon balm are calming. Peppermint helps with focus, and green tea in moderation is rich in L-theanine, a substance that promotes a state of calm alertness. Alternative number 2. Instead of trans fats, use healthy fats, omega-3s and monounsaturated. Throw away the margarine and embrace the fats your brain absolutely loves. What are they, and why do they work? The big hero here is omega-3. It's part of the structure of your neurons. Think of it as the high-quality oil that keeps the brain's gears running smoothly. It is also a powerful anti-inflammatory. Sources of omega-3: fish like salmon, sardines, and tuna. Plant-based sources include chia seeds, ground flaxseed, and walnuts. The other champion fat is monounsaturated fat, found in extra virgin olive oil, avocados, and nuts. Olive oil is rich in polyphenols, which protect the brain from rusting. Alternative number 3. Instead of white flour, choose whole grains and legumes. Swap white bread for 100% whole grain, white rice for brown or black rice, and white pasta for whole wheat or legume-based versions. Why is this swap so powerful? Whole grains retain their fiber and nutrients. The fiber causes energy to be released slowly into the bloodstream. Goodbye, energy crashes. Hello, stable focus and mood. More importantly, these fibers feed your healthy gut microbiota. Eating oats, quinoa, beans, lentils, or chickpeas is like fertilizing the garden of good bacteria that work for your well-being. Alternative number 4. Instead of processed meats, choose clean proteins. Protein is essential as it's the raw material for our neurotransmitters. The secret is to choose the right sources. What are the best sources? Eggs, one of the most complete foods. The yolk is rich in choline, a key nutrient for the neurotransmitter of memory and learning. Fish, especially fatty fish, which provide the combo of protein and omega-3s. Poultry, chicken or turkey breast, the actual fillet, not the deli meat, are great sources of lean protein. Plant-based sources, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, and tempeh are incredible options that also come with the bonus of fiber. Alternative number 5. Instead of artificial sweeteners, re-educate your palate with fruits and spices. The best strategy here isn't to look for another chemical powder, but to rediscover the sweetness that comes from nature. How to make this transition? Start by gradually reducing your use of any sweetener. Your palate adapts faster than you think. Use fruits. Want to sweeten your plain yogurt? Chop a banana, mash some strawberries, or toss in a handful of blueberries. Fruits come with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. Use spices. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla extract add a sweet flavor without needing sugar. Cinnamon also has the advantage of helping to regulate blood sugar. When you make this swap, you're not just avoiding a problem, you're nourishing your body and training your brain to appreciate the taste of real food. So let's recap our journey. We saw how foods full of sugar, chemicals, and bad fats can sabotage our minds, causing brain fog and fatigue. We identified the 5 biggest culprits: sugary drinks, trans fats, white flour, processed meats, and, to the surprise of many, artificial sweeteners. But more importantly, we discovered that we have the power to turn this game around. We created a new shopping list, a list for a high-performance brain. We swapped the villains for heroes, water and teas instead of sodas, olive oil and avocado instead of bad fats, whole grains instead of white flour, clean proteins instead of processed meats, and the natural sweetness of fruits and spices instead of chemicals. The final message I want to leave you with is one of encouragement. Change doesn't have to happen overnight. Nobody is perfect. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Start with one swap, just one. This week, trade the soda for lemon water. Next week, switch from white bread to whole grain. Small steps, repeated consistently, lead to a massive transformation in your health. You are in control of your plate and consequently of your well-being. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these swaps will you try first? What was your biggest surprise in this video? Share it in the comments below. Your journey might inspire someone else. And if this video helped you, the best way to thank me is by sharing it with someone you love. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more practical tips to optimize your health and your life. Thank you for watching and for investing this time in yourself. Take care and see you in the next video.